Hi guys, welcome back to Miscellaneous Pleasures. So basically, I'm going to do two reactions today, and I don't know when they'll be up on the channel, but yeah, I just wanted to say that it is 31st of October right now, and I uploaded my Stranger Things reaction chapter 1 or for chapter 1 today. So it's currently blocked, and I'm sure that it will take like at least 4 5 days for it to get unblocked. So meanwhile, I've actually decided to do Stranger Things season 1 episode 2 or chapter 2 today, because yeah, while I rewatched the episode, I felt that there were a lot of moments which I really liked. uh, I did say in that reaction that uh, like out of the Queen's Gambit. Oh, I have dark here. It's for a different reason I have dark here. Uh, yeah, like what I felt was, oh shit. What I felt was that this episode was in comparison to the Queen's Gambit, dark, and this one. I just felt that this episode was probably third among the list, simply because I didn't feel like there were like I felt that those episodes had much more in them than this one. And I'm not changing my stance right now, but I did feel that I was probably a bit too critical on that episode. It did have good moments in it. It was really fun in a way, because I felt that it wasn't necessarily too, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it has kids in it, probably that's the reason that it feels really cheerful at moments, or it felt cheerful at moments. And of course, I'm not expecting the episode to be that way, because there's a person who is missing. So we'll obviously have those elements in it. But yeah, yeah, I just felt like reacting to Stranger Things episode 2 today, simply because you know I didn't feel like reacting to the Queen's Gambit. And Dark, Dark was good. Dark was really good, but I just don't feel like I'm in the mood for like a TV series which needs me to think a lot. And I don't think that Stranger Things will be that necessarily. Or even if it is that, it will still have moments that will keep me cheerful. And that's probably the reason that I've decided that my second reaction is going to be for Arrow season 1 episode 2, because it's been a while since I did the Arrow. Compared to these three episodes, Arrow was the first one I did, or rather, four if you count Arrow in it. So yeah, I'm going to do Stranger Things, and then I'm going to do Arrow, and both of them will be up on the channel tomorrow. But of course, they'll be blocked, and then to get unblocked, I'm not exactly sure how much time it will take. Uh, so for Stranger Things, this setup, I don't have a photo, do I? Like, I have a photo, but I'm not exactly sure how relevant it is necessarily. So I'll have to probably think about it like beforehand, because I do have a photo for Stranger Things, but I just felt that it was like a season 3 photo rather than a season 1 photo. I'll show the photo to you in a moment. Uh, yeah, meanwhile, I'll talk about the first episode, certain aspects of it. Like, for instance, at the first watch, I just felt that, or rather, in the middle of the episode, I felt that, the monster that was there, it may have probably been created by the science lab, not science lab, but whatever lab they have in Hawkins. And but in the middle of the episode, I had a feeling that maybe not, and that this was like not necessarily something that is created by the. Oh shit! Oh, this image is so big. Just a second, guys. I need some time. Yeah, I suppose this will work. Yeah, I'm stupid to do this thing right in the middle of a reaction. Basically, my point being that in the middle of the episode, I just felt that maybe the lab did not create the monster, but for some reason they probably like know of its existence, or maybe they were working on something else, like experimenting on humans, for instance. Because I think that's the reason Levin has her powers, and in the process of doing that, they probably like I don't know, for some reason they discovered like monsters, and they are probably trying to fight it. Because that's what I felt. Because the character that Millie Bobby Brown plays is a kid, so maybe they are like they experimented on her and similar other people because her name is 11, which means there must be 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, stuff like that. So maybe there was like they just created or experimented on her so that she could fight the monster, and maybe she doesn't really understand that you know they're actually trying to save the world in sort of a villainous way. So maybe they have that sort of a character arc. When I say character arc, I mean like a story arc, because it's a non-living thing. uh, Laboratory is not alive. Anyways, yeah, that was one of those things. I loved Hopper's character. I've seen that guy in Newsroom before, and I mean, I knew of his existence, but I didn't really pay much attention to him because there were these much more dominating characters in that show. But I like that guy. That guy was really uh, like showed a range of emotions in a way. So yeah, that was fun. And obviously Levin's character. I mean, her like when I was editing, there were like three moments for me. The first one was her entrance, and in that entrance, she basically like you know she has that face where she's not really showing any emotion. She's just like she sees those fries and then she's like hungry. She tries one and she's hungry and she eats a lot, and then she runs away. And I was actually feeling sad for the guy, Benny Hammond, I think his name was. I didn't think he would be killed like that, especially not in the first episode. So yeah, that sucked. But otherwise, I think it was a really fun episode. They just met. So Levin and the guys just met. I don't know their names. I don't remember their names. I think one guy was Locust. Uh, there were two other people. I forget their names. Yeah, I think there was one Mike. Yeah, Mike was the person whose house in they were playing. In whose house they were playing. So yeah, so yeah, that was Mike. I forgot the other guy, the toothless guy that they nicknamed him. Uh, yeah, so these three people just met Levin, so I'm really curious as to how their conversation would go. Or maybe we could find out that Levin, she didn't really speak much to Benny, did she? She just smiled. She was like pointing at stuff and she was like pointing like this and stuff. Maybe she would open up to the kids. That's a real possibility because it just seems that they are all of the same age. So maybe that's a thing. Where is Will? I don't know. I don't think Will is outside Hawkins because it feels like a small town show, and in all these small town shows, what happens is the villain or the bad guy or the in this case a monster and stuff, they're not usually outside the town. They're more like inside the town in some sort of hiding place or something like that. But that will be interesting to see where he is and when we like retrieve the guy, because I for one don't think he's dead. I still think that this is a I don't think this is a show which is going to kill kids just like that. At least not a person who is extremely seems to be extremely influential in that group, because these four people, these four kids, they were really close, and I don't think the show has the balls to just kill one person and deal with the basically the emotional trauma of the four kids or the three kids that would remain. So yeah, that's one of my takes. I yeah, I don't know exactly what else to talk about uh, because it's kind of difficult to think of other things. I'm thinking like, what are there any other elements that I'm missing? Because yeah, the Jonathan one. I mean, Jonathan was for a moment he was really, you know, I felt that that guy was what's the word I'm looking for? Guilty about Will's disappearance, but obviously we now know that he had absolutely no control over it. So so yeah, so I'm really curious as to how his storyline will go because he feels like another one of those stereotypical characters which is going to have, you know, the responsible guy of the family, stuff like that. Maybe he will be influential in some way or form in finding Will, or maybe he has a different story arc. Like, you don't usually have only one story, right? You have like three, four stories running parallelly. So maybe he has a part to play in one of them. So yeah, that's one of my theories. Uh, Nancy, I mean Nancy and the other guy, Steve, something. I mean they were fine. I mean I just felt that they were more fillers rather than meat of the episode. I still believe that I mean, Millie Bobby Brown is a really big actress now, isn't she? I don't think that she's going to have a small role in this. I think she's going to be the center of attraction of everything. I'm expecting the show to go that way. And that's all I think. I've already talked for 12 minutes. Wow. Have I talked for 12 minutes? Oh, this is. I mean, I can't keep count. Anyways, so let me begin this reaction. Here we go. Okay, so we are picking up right from where we left off. Okay, just a second. Oh, I just realized this. I'm so sorry. I just realized this. Uh, what I'm gonna do for this? I think I'll just edit this out. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I'm an idiot.
Is there a number we can call for your parents? With your hair. You have cancer? Did he run away? Are you in some kind of trouble? Is that blood? Stop it! You're freaking her out! She's freaking me out! Death. Not death. Alright, that's enough, alright? She's just scared and cold. Want to go leave her out in that storm? Yes, we went out to find Will. Not another problem. We should tell your mom. I second that. Who's crazy now? How was that crazy? Because we weren't supposed to be out tonight, remember? So? So, if I tell my mom and she tells your mom and your mom. Oh man. Exactly. We'll never find Will. Alright, here's the plan. She sleeps here. You're letting a girl? Just listen. In the morning, she sneaks around my house, goes to the front door and rings my
Dude, this is
My
such a
mom knows
11-year-old plan.
exactly what to do. Send her back to the containers.
This is so not going to work.
We're totally in the clear. And tomorrow night, we go back out. This time, we find Will.
This is a typical 11-year-old plan. Like, she just thinks that this is going to work out as perfectly as she just planned it. But that's never really the case. So
Mental. It was him. It was Will. And
I
he
mean,
was scared. And then something just...
Probably just a
okay, you know what? I get it. Like from the perspective of, I mean, even Jonathan did not hear the phone call, did he? Only the viewers did, and obviously Joyce did. I mean, from anybody outside perspective, she just heard breathing, didn't she? So you can't really expect them to believe that that was Will. I mean, I don't find it hard to believe. I just think that that was Will just because she told it, and it was kind of obvious that there was just another like monster sound or something beside that. But for an outside person, it's kind of difficult to believe that uh, that was Will.
dude. Listening to on TV, everyone's all crazy, false leads, prank calls.
No. So listen,
Is
this
that
is gonna
all?
sound a little weird, but I just needed to go out there. Then go to the front door and ring the doorbell. My mom will answer, and you'll tell her that you're lost and that you need help. But whatever you do, you can't tell her about last night or that you know me.
Not gonna work. This
Really,
is
it's no
not
big
gonna
deal.
work.
Just pretend to meet each other again. And my mom, she'll know who to call.
Not gonna work.
No? No. No. You don't want my mom to get help?
No.
You're in trouble, aren't you? Who are you in trouble with?
Good question, Mike.
Bad? Bad people? They want to hurt you? Bad people?
I mean,
Understand?
yes, of course he does. Like, should I stay or should I go? Feels like some sort of a hidden message. Not gonna lie. But there is no way that song is coming in because copyright and stuff. You know what? I'm gonna write this down. Oh, she recognizes him.
You know Will? Did you see him? Last night? On the road? I woke up, my head, it really hurt bad. My throat was all scratchy. I
Dude.
didn't tell you, but the last time I told you I was sick, you made me go to school anyway. Michael. Yeah? No?
It's not. This what's been going on.
I know where I've seen her. Oh, dude, I know where I've seen her. She was in the Flash. No, not the Flash. She was in Supergirl. She was the Mind Lady. She was a Mind Lady. I completely Leviathan, right? She was that green colored clothed person, the tech person who was there with, I completely forgot the names, but who was there with that Lena Luthor's friends company, the ones who made the VR glasses. I remember because I kept thinking throughout the last episode, whenever she popped up, I was like, I've seen this person somewhere, and I just couldn't place where it was, and this is her. I'm pretty sure this was her. I have to check this out later. I have to remind myself to do that, but I'm damn sure that this was the person who was there in Supergirl.
Imagine what's funny.
And she was hot.
What? George Burness made the jump. He was drunk as a skunk. He did it on a $10 bet.
George is a liar. Make that jump from this height, that water jump in cement. It's gonna get on brakes, but I give a damn what you buy.
Yeah, Flo, talk to me.
Hey, Chief, we got a call from over at Benny. I think you need to get there right away.
You're out of your mind. Just listen to me. You were out of your mind. She knows about Will.
What do you mean she knows about Will?
She pointed out at his picture. She knew he was missing. I could tell. Could tell? Just think about it. You really think it was a coincidence that we found her on Mirkwood, the same place where Will disappeared?
That is weird.
And she said bad people are after her. I think maybe these bad people are the same ones that took Will. I think she knows what happened to him. Then why doesn't she tell us? Do you know where he is? Do you know where Will is? Stop it, you're scaring her! She should be scared. If you know where he is, tell us. This is nuts. We have to take her to your mom. No, 11 said telling any adults would put us in danger.
What kind of danger?
Her name is 11. Official.
Mike, what kind of danger?
Danger, danger. No, no, no. We're going back to plan A. We're telling your mom. No.
Okay, so she has,
Take a look at this view.
I guess, like nosebleed or something
Here, but it's almost done.
when she uses powers.
Gotta get you out of that hellhole. I'm out here in the city. People more real here, you know? I can see you more. You think I don't want to see you?
I know you don't.
See, that's your mother talking right there.
Like,
Does she even know you're here? Oh, great.
what sort of statement is people are more real here? Because I've never really understood that. Like, are they like predictable? Is that what he means? Are they like more cultured? Because he doesn't look cultured, for one. And I mean, if anything, then I'd probably say that people in like the villages or the small towns, you know, where they're like basically it's a small community, people there are more probably real than they are in the cities. Like yeah, I don't understand that statement. I honestly don't. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, people are more real
One kid
here.
goes missing, the other one runs wild.
Just be back. Why don't you take the boys too? Don't you think you should be there? For Will? It's okay, Alex. She's around.
I promise. Right?
We never would have upset you if we knew you had superpowers.
What Dustin is trying to say is that they were just scared. Early. That's all.
We just wanted to find our friend.
Right?
Yeah, friend. Will?
What is friend? Is she serious?
Okay, so she
Friend
Is
is
someone that you do anything for.
You lend them your cool stuff like comic books and trading cards.
And they never break a promise.
especially when they're spit.
Spit?
A spit swear means never break your word. It's a bond.
That's super important because friends, they do each other things that parents don't.
Oh, Dustin's reaction was fantastic.
What?
Oh, don't do this, Jonathan. I thought you're a good guy. You don't take creepy photographs of random people. Or not even people you know. Like, just don't do that. Like,
Why don't you go ahead and go home?
I don't like this Barbara person, I'll tell you why.
Vance. Bar. I'm fine.
Like,
This isn't for you.
so fucking what?
I'm fine. Just go ahead and go.
Like, caring for a person is one thing, and I don't know, like, I'm kind of restricting myself from talking because I'm worried about what I'm going to cut and what I am not. So, I'm writing stuff down, so I'll definitely talk about it after the end of the episode. Oh, so Barbara is dead then, or taken. Okay, that's the end of the episode. Alright. This was a good episode. Um, I mean, there's football going on, so if at all it comes up in the video that I'm, looking here and there, it's just that there's a football game going on. I'm just not distracted, but more like also interested in what's going on. And maybe I can shift my laptop a bit so that that doesn't come into the video. So the thing is, second episode was much better than first episode in my opinion, because it just started off with the 11 and the group thing, which was very interesting, the dynamic. Also, talking of 11's 11 seems to have this, I have a feeling that she's a 12 or a 11-year-old person, but she's actually a 1 or 2-year-old person inside a 11 or 12-year-old body, if that makes any sense. Because if these people did experiments on her, then from when did they start the experiments? And if, let's say, she was always experimented on since the birth, then maybe she has no idea as to what the civilization is, or like, as a person you grow mentally, physically, you learn a lot of cultures and the way people behave from the people you see on an everyday basis. But if Levin hasn't had any of those experiences, then she is effectively an infant, or as I said, a 1 or 2-year-old person inside an 11-year-old body. And if that's the route that the show is going to take, it's going to be very interesting to see how her interactions go, because for the first 2 episodes she has been there for like a lot of scenes, much more than a lot of other characters. I don't know if she has had the highest amount of scenes, but she has definitely had a lot of scenes. But for a person like that, she hasn't had a lot of lines. So maybe that's the route that they're going down. And yeah, so that's the 11 thing. She obviously is now going to, I think, help the group find where Will is. But the problem I have with that is, how does she even know where Will is? Like she doesn't seem to have those, like she obviously has those, like she's able to sense him or something like that, because she first recognized him and then she like flipped the board. Yeah, I've literally written here flipped the board or blackboard, and basically Dungeons of Dragons monster, like she places that piece. So it's just like a I don't know what this is. Like, is that monster from a different, like, dimension or something? Like, the Flash had this whole season 4 where they had this pocket dimension where the Thinker was, or whatever dimension it was, I forget its name. So maybe they're going down that path where they're having a different dimension, but like different dimension like brings about a lot of other scientific things like black holes and wormholes and rip in space and time or something like that. These are all like science terms used in TV shows. So it's interesting how or what route they're going to go down through. And Hopper, yeah, I mean, Hopper isn't doing much now, is he? He's just like figuring things out one by one. Like, obviously, the kid missing, and now there's a suicide, so he's going through some stuff. And obviously, he has lost a daughter. I don't know how old the daughter was. Like, when did this all happen? Like, if the daughter would have been alive, how old would she be? And if she would be about 10 or 11, I have a feeling that 11 might be Hopper's daughter. But they said that she died, so which basically brings me to, if the lab is experimenting on like people like that, or people basically, so how are they getting the people? Are they like creating basically false deaths and then taking them in for experimentation? Is that what it is? We don't even know how Hopper's daughter died. Like, he seems to be of the same age as Joyce, maybe like few years older than her. And he doesn't also seem to have a wife for some reason. So maybe they are both like away probably, and she died with her. I don't know how she died. So maybe 11 is not the daughter. I'm just kidding. It was a wild theory that just popped up into my head. Which brings me back to Will. I don't know if I'm going to be right on this, but I have a feeling that Will might be a metahuman. Like, maybe not the term metahuman might be used, but I remember the first scene, or not the first scene, but the scene in season episode 1 where the monster is basically chasing Will, and then Will disappears. Like, he's just standing there with a rifle or whatever, shotgun, and the monster comes up from behind, and he's like scared and looks up, and then boom, gone. And we suddenly see this empty, like the shed or wherever he was. So maybe and there was this light that was being focused on. So maybe he's like inside electricity in that place, or even if that makes any sense. I mean, people who have watched The Flash would probably understand what I'm trying to say. Other people who have not watched The Flash would have no idea what I'm talking about, because that's just complete rubbish. How could you be in the light? But maybe he merged with the electricity in that place, and that's how this is all happening. Because whenever the monster came, there were a lot of light fluctuations. There was at least one light fluctuation in Mike's house, and there was another somewhere else. And then when Will is using the phone call as a mechanism to contact, it's again electricity. And then he was like, there was the song that was playing electricity. So maybe he's like trying to communicate with electricity, and like he is part of it or something like that. And maybe that could be a way to kill this monster, because that's the end game, right? You have to kill this monster or get rid of this monster or something like that. So yeah, that's something that came into my mind. Now basically, Supergirl, I have to check this out, so please bear with me while I Google, but I won't show you the screen. If my Google works, it is working. So maybe I could show you that after I confirm it. Supergirl season 5, was it? Cast. What the hell was the name? I mean, this list is the list of people who were there in Supergirl like since season 1 or something. I'm not talking about that. Uh, Lena, Lex, Leviathan. uh, Lillian. Brain is unable to stop. Okay, I'm really struggling to find her name here. You know what? I'll do the other way around. I'll put Stranger Things. What's her name? Wheeler, mother, actress. Yeah, Cara Buono. So I have a feeling that she was there in Supergirl. Yes, she was there in Supergirl. Yes. She portrays Gemma or Gemini or something like that. Yeah, Gemma Cooper basically. Yep. Gemma Cooper. Confirmed. So yeah, she was the person in Supergirl, so that's interesting. I have written down 3 pairings basically. Mike and Levin, Hopper and Joyce, and the third one was Jonathan and Nancy, which I'm maybe doubting at the moment. The thing is, throughout the beginning of this episode, there's obviously Mike and Levin, they have this connection, right? That's kind of obvious. The Jonathan Nancy one was like a bit different for me now, but initially I thought, you know what, Nancy was the only person who talked to him outside of this house when he went to the school, and then I had a feeling that maybe Jonathan liked her. That would probably explain why he's taking photos of her now. And like he really felt dejected or something like that. So maybe that's something that could happen, but I don't understand how Nancy could even forgive him for taking those photos, which is just weird. Plain weird. So that's one point. Hopper and Joyce was a different one because they were just speculating, those police guys, and I had a feeling that probably they were like friends from their school or something like that, so maybe they know from each other. They knew each other from that time, and maybe they had a relationship. I'm not sure like what the status quo is, but that's something that I'm looking forward to if it's ever going to happen in the show. Steve Harrington, yeah, I've written Steve Harrington's name because I don't know if this is part of the reaction. I mean, I know that it was part of the reaction, but I don't know if I cut it out or not for the episode 1 reaction. I basically said that Steve Harrington is a stereotypical asshole guy that you have in these teenager sort of TV series. But since then, I've had a change of heart. And it's simply because it's something that the actor has. I don't know what it is. Like, he doesn't look like this guy that could be like, you have these people who are like really mean and you just hate them. You just hate them. I don't know. I don't have that feeling with Steve at the moment. So, I don't know. Yeah, the blackboard again. I don't understand how 11 is doing it, because I first thought that 11 has a telekinesis power, but maybe she can, like, I don't know, affect signals or something. Like, maybe she has. I'm sorry guys, I'm just really sleepy. Maybe she has like powers with metal or waves or something, and maybe she's using them to track Will somehow. Yeah, it's weird, I don't know. But that doesn't make sense because she stopped the fan and then she close the door, right? With powers. But the doors, like, how is she going to close the doors if she doesn't have telekinesis? I mean, telekinesis is in itself a difficult scientific thing to prove. I don't know. Yeah, just a second, guys. Oh, okay, I have no fucking idea what just happened with my TV. Anyways, this was a very good episode. I did like this, and I'm really happy that I did it because it was a fun episode to watch. And secondly, I don't know how the reaction is going out to be now because I didn't talk much for the episode, and this has been a 1 hour 25-minute reaction where I'm sure I haven't talked all that much. And the problem is, if I don't talk much, then the video is going to get copyrighted definitely. I won't be able to release it or dispute it. So I'll have to find out a way to do something for that. But that's all for this recording. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. It has been a bit of a dodgy one, to be honest. But I did like the episode, and I'll be back with Dark, Arrow, The Queen's Gambit, as well as some football videos. You know, we have an Arsenal game tomorrow, so I'll be there with that reaction after it's over, obviously. And I'll probably there with something else from Football Manager, so you know, look out for that. That's all for this reaction. Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Bye.